I just realised the date. Oh my God. I'm not even going to address the day that this podcast comes out. Happy week 2 of the men's finals. We're going to get into the W. 2 of us are coming from Christchurch. It's September 11. Time to bounce that pill. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Someone said it was comedically a crutch for me, and I agree. Welcome, everyone, to the Footy with Marns Thursday edition. It's Tom and Broden are coming to you from the wonderful New Zealand city of Christchurch. Tom's first time here, but we're joined from Melbourne, the home of football, the home of Quill Award-winning journalist Marnie Vinyl. Hello.
Hello.
Now, you've been sick for a very long time, but you're back on deck. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, a bit all over the shop, but good. I was wiped out, like proper wiped out, and I had moments where I was like, oh, I'm getting better, and then I would wake up the next day and like barely be able to walk. It was horrible. So also poor Paddy's had to deal with me all day just forgetting the sentences that I've started. So this podcast could be interesting from my end. We'll find out.
I'm down for that. I can join you on that level. I'm happy to meet you there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it was a flu?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, because it was like fever and like body aches, and then like coughing and sneezing. The worst.
Did you? I'm sure you got the proper diagnosis, but just checking, it wasn't finals fever.
Yes, I was overwrought with my love for Collingwood and Geelong.
Listen, everyone, go out and get your finals jab from Chemist Warehouse. And I'm joined by Tom as well. Hi.
G'day, mate. How are you?
First impressions of Christchurch.
I'm walking around telling everyone, get on board. The Suns are going all the way. I'm recruiting.
Yeah, no,
this is the second home of the Gold Coast Suns.
Paddy and Marnie, to tell you that he's become unbearable.
I bet.
He really is over the top. It's a lot, and the pure optimism is kind of scary to me because for so long with this man, he's been like, "No, we suck," but now he's gone full the other way. Like, you know, we're going to win everything.
Yeah, I've so far managed to convince one British audio tech to jump on board.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, you've got my dad's on board the Gold Coast Suns for the remainder of the year. I feel like it would be very difficult to do because you're on tour, but I feel like you need to be in a pink Guernsey for when they play.
I didn't pack any, but I absolutely will be wearing it once we get back to Melbourne on Sunday.
Yeah, we're very close to home. But also we've got to talk about your father, Greg. He now goes for the Giants. He now goes for the Suns as well. How many teams can one man have?
Well, he's a member of Swans and Giants. He's not quite he's invested for Tom's happiness in the Gold Coast Suns, and that's where that ends, I think.
I think that's all our audience now. And also Paddy in the room. Hello, Paddy. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
We're doing good, thank you. What's news? How was your 4 games you called on the weekend?
I had a weekend off, which was nice. So I went up to see my folks. But what I did have to do was cut 3 or 4 separate bits of content, all involving Tom talking about the Suns.
Yes.
So
that's going to be it from now on.
Enjoying the victory lap from afar.
Hell yeah. Well, okay. I'm glad to hear everyone's well. Glad to hear Marnie's back on deck and feeling good. And it's just in time, folks, because it's time for the news with Marnie Vinyl.
Get the fuck up!
Love that sting. And great Reddit AMA last week as well, by the way. Like in the stupor, people were very keen to hear. It was a lovely read.
It was so overwhelming.
But tell us about the news. Break it down for us.
Okay, well, do you want to start with the Reddit AMA? Because in it, I was asked if you could take anything from AFLW and for the men's competition. And I commented, I know I'm in the minority, but I love the Lasso rule. And now last disposal is being moved. So it was me. I did it. Yeah, Greg Swan followed my AMA. And he was like, that's a really good point, Marnie. We should move the last disposal rule from the AFLW into the AFL men's competition, and everyone is really excited about it. There have been 0 complaints.
So for people who don't know fully, maybe don't follow the W as much as we do, if the ball now goes out of bounds between the 50s and the middle of the ground, and it's not and it's clear who it went off, the other team is going to get the ball. Is this genuinely going to happen?
Well, so Greg Swan is set to recommend the rule to the AFL Commission. and then they'll make a decision. But a lot of coaches have publicly said that they're pretty unsure about it. Also, it's used in the sandful, and I've seen a lot of people being very supportive of how well it works in the sandful. And it's supposed to just speed up games. And, well, they use it in the W to stop congestion and just make it easier to score from. It's also my favourite because the umpires make like a lasso with their arms, and it's really fun to watch. I love it so much that I actually have like a Darcy Vesio artwork of a Sharon in a lasso above my bed.
I do love it in the W because it makes the game pick up so much speed. I think if they introduce this next year, like just it comes in, I think SEN will blow up.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be able to. I mean, it gets rid of the deliberate rule or insufficient intent rule. What do you think?
I mean, I saw a hot take on Twitter. Again, I forget who said it, but I just wanted to put it to the group because I don't know how to feel about it, but it tickles me really deeply. Someone was like, geez, you would hate to have two massive contracted ruckmen when half the ruck contests are about to fucking leave. So I'm looking at the Saints going, Rowan Marshall and TDK. Is that the worst investment of all time now?
I'm looking at Essendon with no rucks. So yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
We don't need rucks anymore. I think they are unnecessary. We should just get rid of them. No, you're right. I mean, because that was Sam Mitchell's main point that he had about it, is that he said he loves that AFL men's and women's is you can have just so many different body types that you can have like a 5'2" Nick Watson, and you can also have a 7 foot Ned Reeves, and everyone kind of has their like unique roles, and it's important that we keep rucks in the game and really tall lads to be able to play to the best of their ability. And there is a point, I think, in that.
Yeah. I just think it's funny I just think the Saints are cooking an interesting broth. That's all I'm saying.
Just as a side note, Marnie, on talking about things that are in the men's versus the W, Kate Mack and yourself talked about the size of the ball in the W going to the bigger ball. And I was curious about that. That's really interesting to me because it makes it hard. It's easier to kick the big ball longer, and it's easier to get a hold of and things like that. Is that the case?
Yes. So the women play with a size smaller ball, and quite a few players have been pretty vocal about how it is harder to kick further, and especially because it can be taken by the elements a lot easier. So wind can affect kicks a lot more, and the AFLW is played on suburban grounds that contributes to that. Because Emma Carney had some quotes last year. There was a men's player that was doing work with the women's. I can't remember who it was, but I just she was like, he was so shocked that none of his kicks were going to their he couldn't hit targets with the smaller ball because it was just falling so much shorter than the men's size ball does. And it's because women have dainty little hands that can't catch big balls. That's why.
No, it makes complete sense to me. I think bring that in immediately. If they're going to trigger, make the lasso rule come in next year, then 100% change that up as well. What else is going on?
Also, when it comes to rules, one indicated scrapping of the substitute rule. So that could also be on the agenda, which again, no subs in W seems to work fine. So that would allow for 5 players to be on the bench and rotations to stay at 75. And he also said the 666 warning on starting positions will likely remain, which great because we saw the best game of footy ever this year.
Disagree.
The 666.
Disagree. Disagree. Yeah, great. Okay, that makes sense. He's come in clearly and just gone. I'm making some changes here, hasn't he?
Yeah, I saw the commentators. Oh my goodness, I literally said to Paddy before we started, I'm so sick of talking about Cam Rayner free kicks, and I'm about to talk about it. I hate myself. That he would have just been ripping his hair out watching those umpires' calls.
Yeah,
because that's like his thing. He's like, I'm going to fix the game through like rule changes and umpiring.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
yeah.
Essendon Sam Draper will not be playing for the Bombers next season. He has told the club that he will leave. He's not officially nominated his destination, which could be Brisbane or Adelaide, but it's looking very likely to be the Lions, who have tabled a 5-year deal with a trigger for 6 on the table. The level of compensation Essendon will receive for Draper depends on the value and tenure of the deal he ultimately signs. So it could be a band 1 first round pick or at the end of the first round. And Draper said that he's really struggled with the injuries that he's sustained over his career at the Bombers, and it's taken a toll mentally and physically, and he just really wants a fresh start. But I can really understand the Essendon fans' frustration and disappointment about this. I've seen a lot of people kind of comparing it to Joe Danaher leaving, and it feels very different to that, especially because Draper was a soccer player and Essendon really picked him up, and they kind of like, would the AFL system have Sam Draper if it wasn't for Essendon? Arguably no. And I feel like they invested a lot in him, and the teasing of if he's going or not has been hard, I think, for Essendon fans, which has been compounded with Zach Merritt meeting with Hawthorn this week. So Merritt met with Hawthorn, as reported by 9 News, on Tuesday night as he explores avenues outside of the club. Merritt and his manager caught up with Sam Mitchell and football boss Rob McCartney at a private residence on Tuesday night to discuss what a future will look like at the Hawks. Merritt has 2 years remaining on his contract at the Bombers. Things are looking grim.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It makes sense for them to want to leave, but then at the same time, this is the first time the Bombers are actually stable in a couple of years, IMHO. So it's actually like, maybe, I don't know, does he need to leave? Do you let him leave and get picks, or do you keep and build around? What do you do?
Oh, I don't know. Well, my opinion that I think I might have said on mic when it was Oscar Allen meeting with Sam Mitchell is it feels very different when it's captains. Like, it feels very, like, I feel when you accept the captaincy at a club, that is such a huge responsibility and it is such an honour. And you are asking all of these people to buy into you, into that position, that it's got to be a good reason if you were going to leave, especially if you've got years left on your contract. Like, I get it. It must be really hard for Merritt. Like, it must be really difficult for Merritt to be the player of his calibre and to never get to play in finals wins. Like that, it must be really difficult. But if you accept the captaincy, you accept the responsibility of seeing that club through the stage that it is at. You're asking people to buy into you as a person. I find it really difficult when captains leave. That's
a very, very good point, because it's essentially you're second to coach at that club as to who represents it. And when you take on that mantle, you are essentially saying, I am this for better or worse. It's a very good point. Yeah. What do you think, King Stingray?
All I can think about is the moment where Sam Mitchell was taunting some of the Essendon players a few years ago by feigning a jab towards his forearm, and now he's meeting with the captain of the Essendon Football Club, reportedly, to discuss a trade. So I think Essendon fans would be really sad, but I think this point was made on the Tradies podcast that Zach Merritt and the Bombers have spoken for years about what the Dons might be doing and where they might be going, and it's been unfortunately false dawn after false dawn. So he's 29, he wants to win a premiership. He did weigh up the St Kilda approach last year, so it makes sense that he wants to go and win a flag, and he feels like he can't do it at Essendon. So, I mean, I'm sad for Dons fans, but...
Fair and pertinent.
That was a very different reaction to last week when Paddy brought up that Zach Merritt wanted to leave Essendon, and Tom just broke out in laughter.
Yeah, I'm staying quiet because I don't want to offend anyone, but I'd say we spoke so much about Clary and Petrarca wanting to leave last year. Clearly there's huge cultural fitness issues at Essendon. Clearly it is a club in huge trouble. Otherwise, Ridley, Draper, Merritt, everyone else wouldn't want to leave, right? So I think we've got to take it at face value.
I think they're like, they could be the awkward conversations now, or have already happened, to be honest, are the ones that mean it's actually a good time now.
I think it's the injuries. I think I look at it and I go, it's the injury problem. That's what the issue is here. Especially because Draper's said it publicly. So, and I think Ridley would be the same. How many soft issues has Ridley had? So clearly they don't feel safe and good at that club, I reckon. That would be my assumption, pure assumption.
There's a new guy coming in now. But yeah.
Too little too late.
So for that whole thing, had something that I wanted to say, and then my brain is completely... But this is horrible. I hate having a foggy brain.
You got the brain fog.
It's the worst feeling. I feel so
when you have
silly.
like a young child, you have it for like 3 to 6 months. It's great.
Baby brain. Oh my God. Sorry. But lots of what do you feel about the idea that trades talk shouldn't happen during men's finals? Do you know the question I'm asking? Sorry.
I was actually shocked by what Ross Lyon said a few weeks ago, where he said if you're talking to a player in contract and encouraging them to break their contract, it's actually illegal. And I was like, that's a very good point. That if you are, and I know it's done probably more than not done. Like there's more players talking about their contracts and where they want to go. But if you're encouraging someone to break a contract, or if you're talking about breaking your own contract, that's a legitimate, serious thing. And it's all kind of played off as, it's a bit of fun. If you're out of contract, it makes complete sense and you should be doing that. I think coaches are now going for the Melbourne job, and while their team's playing in finals and stuff like that, that completely makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think it is a distraction from the finals, of course, Marns. But at the same time, it's like there's 12 teams out of finals, right? So it sort of keeps them engaged with footy. I've seen, so it's sort of fun as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The contract point. You sign contracts all the time. I sign contracts. I can't even imagine breaking ever. It's not even something that would cross my mind. I feel like when you sign a contract, you sign a contract. It's so baffling to me in the footy world that they seem to not be like actual legal documents. Which they are.
We broke one once, and it was a long story that we can't speak about. It was interesting.
I had to sign an NDA about it. It was the worst 6 months of my life.
Yeah.
But that's just, all that is to say. That is all to say that contracts and they are important.
So important.
But yes.
Have I signed a contract with you two? I don't think so.
Don't believe so.
Verbal.
Nah. Yeah, you're all chill.
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
can.
ask for so much money next year.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can we talk about AFLW?
Yes.
Our girl Abby McKay has been sidelined with a hamstring injury, which sucks. Carlton are doing so well.
Yeah, far out.
That's so sad.
Is it fair to say the other sister has Sophie could step into captaincy now because she's had the best 4 games. The start to her career has just been phenomenal. But that is very, very sad. But them being in the top 8, if I'm being very fair, is like a nice thing, and it is reflective of the way that last season reflects the fixture of this season in a nice way. You know what I mean, Marns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't expect Carlton to have quite a good run. I didn't expect them to beat Brisbane.
That was sick. How bad is the calf?
The hamstring? It is 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's awful.
So she should potentially come back for about 3 more regular season games thereabouts, or maybe a little bit more.
3 weeks is a fourth of the competition if it's 12 rounds. Oh my God, I'm so clever. But Jazzy Garner is looking like she could return for the grand final rematch on Sunday against Brisbane.
Fuck yeah.
I'm very excited.
That's great.
Is that one? We'll talk about it later, but is that up there?
What do you mean up there?
In
Brisbane?
Yeah.
Don't know. Haven't checked. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later. Yeah, cool. That's great for Jazzy Garner.
I think this was an incredibly risky move from me. Is in news. I've just written Daisy Pearce, just knowing that I wanted to talk about Daisy Pearce, but I haven't written any notes. I'm giving my foggy ass brain. I think that. No,
please.
Daisy Pearce is good. No. So you spoke last week that she now has the most wins as an Eagle coach, and I think that the Daisy Pearce era at the West Coast Eagles is so reflective of where the competition is at in terms of competitive standards, and I think that there is a little bit of a gap between some teams that have really accelerated as the seasons have gone on and become more and more professional, and the standards have just lifted internally, and that is reflective of their position on the ladder, where some teams have not had the same kind of elevation. And West Coast deciding, okay, we're going to get rid of Michael Pryor as coach. He was let go. And then we're going to, pretty bold move. Like, they lured Daisy from Melbourne, which was not an easy thing to do. She had to move her entire family. They made a really bold play to get Daisy Pearce over as coach. And I think that showed the seriousness of the competition. We're going to put money on the table here. We're going to move an entire family. This is not a Mickey Mouse competition. We're investing properly. And there was a moment where Daisy had to walk like in front of the stands to go down at the end of the game from the coach's box. And the entire Eagles fans there all like cheered her on as she did it, and I really loved watching that. I felt a little bit like, yeah, it was really cool just watching her do that, and to watch this Eagle side like win arguably because of tactics. It's not just like, oh, Eagles have some really good players, therefore they won. They especially not this week, but the week before, St Kilda, where Saints were up by the whole game, and then
the Eagles came back. I think they kicked five quarter goals to win.
I think so too. They kicked 5 goals in the last quarter to get that win, and that was all because Daisy threw the magnets around. And it's really cool watching that.
It's such a good point, and I actually hadn't thought of that, but we do let the clubs that came in later, we let them off the hook a little bit. Because we go, oh, well, you're just so far behind D's and Brisbane and Adelaide. That's such a good point, that they've made a real play and they've really engaged with it. And there are some clubs out there who have gone, oh, you're an afterthought a little bit, and they're getting punished. And it's a really, really good point.
But it's also like there's not a lot of heat on the clubs that aren't doing very well. There are two sides that are 0-4, which is GWS and Richmond.
Really?
And I feel like at this point, questions can be asked of coaches.
Well, you did write a very good article about the Tigers and spoke to Gemma Bastiani about how the club was going, and I thought you were very sparing of a few things that I would have said, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I was deeply sick, and Gemma did all the heavy lifting in that article. I called Gemma, and I was like, good. Can I use you as an expert voice, because I really want to write about Richmond? And then Dad was just like, you quoted Gemma a lot. And I was like, yes, because Gemma was the only one with anything smart to say. But basically, Richmond played in the finals last year, and they bowed out in an elimination final to Port Melbourne. And they haven't had a win yet this season. But it's not just that they haven't had a win. They lost to Melbourne by 37 points, which is significant, especially in W. They lost to Essendon by 15 points. Essendon aren't like one of the top 4 sides. Western Bulldogs to 21 points, Sydney 20 points, like pretty heavy defeats. And I think that a lot of people that are outside of like W, like really kind of rusted or like in the midst of it, could kind of be like, okay, well, you've got to side with Monique Conti and Ellie McKenzie and Katie Brennan and Caitlin Greiser and Sarah Greaves, she's not spoken about as much as she needs to be, but she's amazing. Can look at that talent on that list and go, well, like, how were they so bad? And I think that Gemma spoke really well, because I put it to Gemma as, is this just a lack of depth? And she said, I don't think it's a lack of depth in terms of talent, but it's definitely a lack of depth when it comes to leadership. And I think that Ellie McKenzie is a really good example of that. So she was the number 1 draft pick, and the conversation has, because she's been had a lot of injuries, has been like, when Ellie McKenzie is fit and firing, Richmond's mid is going to be so hard to stop. And I think that they just put all this pressure on this number 1 draft pick, where like if you look at North Melbourne, Jazzy Garner went out with an ankle injury and you would not have noticed. They did not take a single backward step. It wasn't like, oh no, we've lost Jazzy Garner, we're going to be hurt because of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the Richmond issue that I've had for the last couple of years is it's felt Conti or bust in the midfield, and then when Mackenzie's come in, it's like, oh, well, now we can compete with the finals teams, and other teams have gone past them with gameplay and style. They've also got some really competent forwards. Apologies, this has turned into the Richmond podcast, by the way, gents. But
well, no one's mentioned my best friend Sarah Hosking, and
she played. She was back.
Yep, and it was good to see Melbourne beat her. That was my revenge.
Yes, it was. I was thinking that. Yeah, Sarah, I can't believe it took till the Dreamtime game for Sierra to play AFLW footy, especially the way that she came in. Like, she's so talented. I actually used to umpire her when she played for the Yarraville Seddon Eagles in the Western Region Footy League like a million years ago. And I think she was best on ground in a game where she was like 15 years old playing against seniors. Like, she's a gun, and she's still a gun.
And if I can just kind of circle it back to what I was talking about before, Gemma spoke really well about how they're just being completely figured out by opposition, and you can't just rely on having like star power on the field anymore. So they're averaging 2 fewer goals per game than last year, and they're also conceding a lot more than last year. And it's like, yes, you've got Caitlin Greiser, you've got Katie Brennan, you've got people that can kick goals and have shown that they're able to put scores on the board. But if tactically and strategy-wise you've been figured out by your opposition, like, move stuff around.
Yep, they've got, as you mentioned, Greiser, Brennan, Millsy, Yassir up front. They've brought in Paige Scott. They've been, I think, quite promising up forward. And what was it, the Bulldogs game, they took 0 marks inside 50 and just looked bereft of options to try and take the game on and take away from the Dogs' defensive contested style. So, yeah, look, anyway, I'm a bit disappointed with the Tigers. I don't know if that's coming through or not.
No.
Yeah, they've a right to be. Anyways, your Gold Coast Suns got to win.
Yes. Fantastic.
Was that a reflection of where the Giants are at or where the Suns are at, or a bit of both, do we think?
Mm-hmm. I think a reflection of where the Giants are at. And I think that there's probably that camp are feeling a bit flat about where they're at, rightfully. Kate McCarthy had some interest, and Riley Beveridge talked about on Talking W. It was Talking W. They talked about Swans v Giants because obviously the Swans are absolutely flying where the Giants aren't. They talked about how the Giants were there from the start, and Richmond and Sydney kind of came in and like got all this star power and took all this talent, and it's been really hard for the Giants. And I thought it was an interesting conversation to hear because also like I trust like Kate's brand is so cool. But it was really interesting to watch also the reaction to that, because you've got a lot of fan bases that feel very aggrieved by the expansion periods and all the talent that's been taken from them. And I think, yeah, like if you look at the Western Bulldogs 2018 premiership side, all of those players are captains now at other clubs. Fair, that's hard to watch that happen. But the Sydney model of we're going to wait until we're ready for an AFLW team and we're going to build pathways and we're going to try and lure really good talent. Like, it's not like they were just like, oh, it'd be cool if we had Chloe Malloy. Like, they went out and got Chloe Malloy. They put in a lot of work. And I would say, back to that Daisy point, standards are very different amongst all of the clubs.
Yeah.
Like, I see that. Even just the way that people talk. It's
the way that people like the way that the clubs communicate to the media and stuff like that. Is that what you mean, or?
Yeah, but also like I'm in and amongst. I'm talking to people. I'm also talking to players that have come from different clubs. Like the standards, like when you talk to players that have moved clubs and ask them, just like when you're having a chat, like how different is it? It's very different at every at club. There's a reason Brisbane have been so strong for so long. Like, that
makes sense. That makes sense. Seems like there's lots of stories to be told there.
Yeah, but even just like there are mistakes that teams make that I have said like out loud. I'll be like, there's no way that would happen at your club, and they've said yes, we would be like roped over coals if we made that particular mistake. Like, it's just different.
Interesting. Yeah, wow. I'm very fascinated by that. I'm going to ask you questions later.
It's a hard conversation to have as well, because we are talking about players that, like some clubs stick to their contracted hours and other clubs don't. And you can't begrudge people for not, working above their contracted hours. Like, it's not as if they're getting paid for the same contracted hours that the men's are. So it's kind of a tricky conversation as well.
Yeah, when the season starts in essentially August and goes to December as well, that's such a big downtime as well to be the expectations of that large off season, whether that's playing VFL or doing something else or whatever. That makes a lot of sense in a lot of respects.
Can we just have like a how's the tour going? I'm so curious.
Thank you for asking. Good. New Zealanders are very chill. But
can you do your
it's
best
going
New
good.
Zealand, can you tell me how your shows are going in your best New Zealand accent?
Yes. Everyone's having a great time with it because it's so good for you to come over the Dutch and do this show with us because we only get people like Mel Bracewell and Guy Montgomery over here. But when you come down here, it's lovely to see it because we know you from the YouTube videos. We don't like your footy show because we don't really watch that show. We prefer the All Blacks, who are our national team. And they are actually playing in a World Cup, the women at the moment, and throwing it backwards. And they throw it backwards and run forwards. And it's really fascinating. I've had enough of that. But that's how they sound.
Yeah. We're like almost at the end of our first little cluster of shows. So this is like the slog now where we got 2 more shows to go before we get 2 weeks off.
But I'm genuinely so rapt to get back to Melbourne and just be around the footy. I put my grand final ballot in today for my MCC membership.
Did you put one in for me?
No, you're not welcome in there. You
but
know why.
The Suns are going to make it.
We know who you are. Well, you're not welcome in there. I know you're wearing a collared shirt, but you can't fool me.
You're not going to take me if the Suns make it?
No, Mitchell will be going. You're not allowed to go. Won't you? If the Gold Coast Suns, Marnie, give me a percentage that you think the Suns can actually make the grand final. They've got to go through the Lions and Collingwood
4%.
to get to the 4. Well, that's
optimistic.
Looking at the AFLW tipping, that's more percentage than the Suns get against Carlton this weekend. So they don't in that team. But and what do you think, Pat? You just put up a 0. Is that right?
I actually reckon they beat Brisbane. I think Collingwood beat them at the MCG every day.
I think that's fair, and we'll all be there, guys, all together. I think someone was telling me that usually the away team gets access to 20,000 tickets for an away game like that. So I'm thinking I'll buy like 100, I'll put a mortgage up for 100 tickets.
We can all have a bay each.
Yeah.
So this happened, I went to the 2017 preliminary final between Richmond and GWS, and it was genuinely 96,000 Richmond supporters.
Yeah, I was there.
And maybe 2,500 Giant supporters. That was
really scary. But yes, thank you for asking. Very excited to get back to watch these games that are happening this weekend. Is it time? It's time to do that thing we call tipping.
Tipping.
And this week we only have to tip 11 games. So that's 9 for the W and 2 for the men's finals. Shall we crack in with the finals first? Because I'm very curious to see how people will tip it. The first game of this is Adelaide versus Hawthorn. Ginnivan is flying to Adelaide. He said he doesn't like it there. Rochelle is coming back. I've heard Adelaide Crows are either going to go out straight sets exits from after finishing on the top, or they're going to remove Hawthorn from contention. That will be the second year in a row that Hawthorn have lost in the second, what do you call this round? The
these eliminations.
Semi-finals.
That's what I meant.
So it's, how are people feeling about this? Talk to me, please.
I'm so
hyped for
excited.
This game. This is going to be sick. No, you go. That's all. I was fucking hyped as.
Yeah.
I'm also hyped as. I'm very, I'm excited to watch this. I reckon it'll be like a good show as well. Oh, I loved, it turned out to be almost a dangerous thing when Cadman went for a goal that he definitely should have got, and he played on, and then Ginnivan just got up in his face. He's like, "We're in your head." Well, I don't know exactly what he said, but it looked like he was saying, "We're in your head," and he just kept pointing to his head.
I have a migraine. I have a migraine.
I want that kind of rat bag energy from the Hawks.
Oh, don't worry. I think they'll do that. I think Ginnivan told someone before the game, he's like, I'm going to rub my tummy or something like before a goal celebration.
Yeah, he did.
He said,
for a Melbourne player. For one of your ex-players. For Michael Hibberd.
Yeah, that's right. For Michael Hibberd. He's like, I'm going to rub my tummy for you.
For Michael Hibberd.
Yes.
Don't know what that's about.
Yeah, someone needs to look into that. I think Adelaide were just atrocious, just on the field, let alone atrocious last week.
Reports
and they only,
yeah.
The old Chris Scott special.
Who had the flu?
Adelaide, they reckon.
Well,
So
that's
Seven
great.
reported that a lot of star players had the flu.
So this is how you can tell that Adelaide are inexperienced with finals, because you only leak the gastro/flu story after September's completed, so you can use the excuse for the whole thing. Now, if they go out in straight sets, you've already used it. You have to make up something else.
Well, they've backed themselves in now. The fact is, if they had the flu and they did play awfully, they only lost by 3 goals in the end. So they will win this. There's no part of me thinks that Hawthorn will win this game. I think Hawthorn's going to have this thing where every finals they go to Adelaide Oval and they lose to a team, and it's dramatic.
It's funny.
And it's embarrassing. And and guess who's going to be at the airport with Ginnivan the next day? That lady's going to be back.
Huh? Are you still a loser? How'd you start that interview? Anything to say?
Yeah, anything to say? I think you will see very similar, or they'll let him go in through a back way, which Adelaide doesn't have. What is everyone else tipping here, or who do they think will win?
I think Adelaide gets it done, but I think there's a huge chance that Hawthorn. I think I'm like 60-40 Adelaide. I think they get it done. I think they show up after last week, but I think Hawthorn can do it. I think they're pretty incredible when they get going.
God, I'm trying to think of matchups in my head, and it just blurs on a field. I can't work it out.
I think Hawks will.
Yeah, I want to say Hawks, but I'm trying to picture their forwards against Adelaide's. Yeah.
You got your Josh Worrells, you got your Mark Keynes. He's a gun. You got Max Michaelani probably goes back because he looked a little bit lost. I just didn't think Adelaide executed many things that they executed during the home and away season at all well. And I think Hawthorn have been here before, been to this exact stage, and I think they win. I think the last game between these two teams was a ripper at this round back into the home and away season. I reckon everyone's underrating Hawthorn's end of season form. They're not an 8th place team. They're far too good.
What wins in the air, a crow or a hawk?
Hawk.
Crows are just hang out and go caw.
But they're very smart. Killers. They use utensils to get into little holes. And then there's some crows who know that and some people are going to be upset because I'm not talking about Port Adelaide, but there'll be a zebra crossing and they'll drop walnuts on the zebra crossing, knowing that people cross there, so they get cars to run over them, and then they know that there's going to be a clearway there when people walk past, so they pick up their broken walnut. They're smart. Crows aren't that smart, but the team aren't that smart. They kept dumping the kicks, but I'm tipping them. And then the other game, by golly, Miss Molly, at the Gabba, sold out. Brisbane Lions, previously the Brisbane Bears, playing the Gold Coast Suns, previously the Gold Coast Suns with a better Guernsey. But this week, they are wearing their pink Guernsey.
Thank God, I love it.
Talk about a rise, a turnaround. This, at the end of last year, everyone's like, we hate their new Guernsey. By the end of the year, everyone's like, this is our favourite Guernsey in the league, the pink clash.
Yeah, for what was supposed to be a one-off gather round special. Yeah. I mean, I jumped on it straight away. Never ordered a jersey in my life, but as soon as the pink one came out, I ordered 3 of them. Wow. It's so good.
I ordered one of the pink hoodies and they sold out immediately.
Tom has one.
I was on it too quick.
They've got to do reprints of that. You've got to do supply and demand.
I think they have once, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again as a finals thing. Yeah.
Okay, so there's some important things to note here. One being that Lachie Neale his season is over. So that's massive. He arguably isn't their best midfielder anymore, but I would say still
incredible player.
Profoundly important.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the other one is the team that lost Danaher from this time last year now has lost a key forward in Eric Hipwood. Who is out. Is that confirmed? I believe that's confirmed.
Yeah, partial ACL tear.
So Suns just got over the line in a huge gladiator-type situation in Fremantle. Tame Impala were even there. But the Brizzy are a good team.
Very good team. Fantastic team.
Sunnies are a very young team. Tell me how you're feeling, Marnie.
Oh, I'm just excited. I hope it has a good finals feel like Suns Dockers last quarter. I mean, I think I'll tip Gold Coast because it's
I was
fun.
just going to say, that's worth noting as well. Anyone who doesn't tip Gold Coast will be seen as an enemy of me and my family for many generations to come. Anyone in this podcast who doesn't jump on the Suns bandwagon with me, considering no one else's teams are in the finals in this podcast, I will take it as a personal slight if we're not all on board the Suns bandwagon.
Who are you?
Just putting it out there, just letting it be known.
For when Essendon W play finals, I expect this energy from you.
Absolutely, you know I'm all about it. I've been to Windy Hill to watch the Bombers girls and gave them my phone number, and they message me all the time about becoming a member.
What? Oh, I thought you meant the Essendon AFLW players. I was like, don't give out your number to them. That's weird.
Tom's known for running on the field asking for phone numbers. That's a weird thing. And Patrick, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Brisbane win.
It's I'm going to go Suns just because of what you just said.
Yeah, because Paddy is now stricken.
Yeah.
You should get little pink Guernseys for Atlas and Acadia. That would be so cute.
That would be so cute. No, I think I'm fucking just stoked for the game. So stoked to even be there. I genuinely think we do match up quite well, especially with those key outs. I think Tuke Miller goes straight to McCluggage and shuts him down because that worked so well last week. And I think that really leaves their midfield just a rung lacking without Neil. And I just think, our defense will line up really well against their forwards. Yeah, I don't know if we can kick the winning score. That's the problem. But what a contest.
On a wider scale, talking about the Suns and where they're at now after winning, they're undefeated in the finals in their history.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their merch, the pink collection. There's pink bikinis and there's pink budgie smugglers.
Ooh.
There's a whole situation there.
They did the full Miami thing.
Well,
Yeah,
it is very Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's but there's no hoodies. there's just budgie smugglers and stuff.
I don't want to think
Oh no, hang on. There are hoodies. They're $110.
Yeah, that's how much I spent on mine.
But it's also to say, at the same time, Des Hasler has just he's leaving the Gold Coast Titans. So at a time when both the league and AFL made a real play for the real estate that is the Gold Coast, you're sitting here now. They've just got 30,000 members sign up in their year. They've got a good Guernsey. They've got a whole situation which is working. It's just a very, very exciting time. So even if they somehow lose this weekend, Tom,
Which I can't see that happening, but go on.
it's still a humongous leap forward.
Yeah, so I read on Twitter, so, not a real source, that like a men's team from the Gold Coast in any sport hadn't won a final since like 2005 or something. So it shows how difficult the market is up there and how good it is just to get one win.
But I'll just touch on what you said there. As you said, Twitter
Yeah.
is the mayonnaise because it isn't a real source.
Yes,
okay?
exactly. So it could be wrong, but it seemed like the sort of thing that, sounds about right because historically men's sports teams just fail in Gold Coast, right?
Yeah, no, but no, I just wanted to say that because I like the.
It was a good, very funny joke. Yeah.
If you weren't on tour, I would gun hard for you to send us all up to Brisbane for this.
Hell yeah.
It's so sad. I'm not even going to be able to watch it. It's like, I'll watch it in delay at least. It's so sad. I think we should cancel the tour.
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be horrible for the tour to do that Justin Timberlake meme. And the tour was bad for him, it looked.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's enough of the finals there. Let's go over
Tipping. Tipping. Tipping.
to round five. Almost halfway.
I
Oh
know.
my
Fucking
God.
Insane, really.
For tipping of the W starts September 13 at 3:05. September 13, is that Friday?
Yeah, but this will be New Zealand time, so this would be 105
Sorry, I'm
on
looking.
Saturday.
We're doing it through Kiwi lens over here.
Yeah, but is that Friday? That can't be Friday. That'd be Saturday, wouldn't
It's
it?
Saturday at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're on Kiwi time. We're going to be at Rotorua, seeing the Hobbits.
They're taking the Hobbits
Six-
to Isengard. I loved you doing that Nazgul. The Frodo, get off the road. But you missed
Yeah, I
all
thought
the
it was so funny.
dialogue that you're supposed to do in that part. So you
was
can cut
literally-
that out of the podcast for people who have no idea what I mean.
No, Tom loves this as well. You
I loved
dorks
it.
love. It's literally 10 minutes from the centre of Wellington. You just go up this hill a little bit, and it's like Lord of the Rings was filmed here. Did you know?
Yeah, but you should go and act it all out. It would be so fun.
Yeah, I'm good.
Broden true.
I've just seen them once all the way through. Can I say that?
No, Broden, you malacca.
I've watched them all the way through. It's 9 hours, Tom. What do you want me to do?
Oh, extended edition's even longer, and I've watched them several times.
Crikey Moses.
Yeah.
First game is Collingwood and Sydney at Victoria Park. How is Victoria Park to get down to, Marnie? I haven't had a chance this year.
I love Victoria Park. I think Hanson Park would be my favourite ground if I could get there. But Victoria Park is my favourite ground to watch W. The vibes are just so high. The food's really good. It's like a little, I'm trying to even remember what's in all those different food trucks, but there's so many. And also just like being in Abbotsford, like across the road is Bodrigi. People that know me know that I love Bodrigi. And there's Kelso Sandwich Shop, which do the best sandwiches ever. The tofu cheese chop. Oh my God. Vibes. I love Victoria Park.
Great,
it's also
and
like
good public
one of the
transport,
only places with a good press box. Sorry.
Would you, I know it's so beautifully integrated into the Collingwood community there. Is it Abbotsford technically? And the way they've turned a VFL stadium into a parkland for the community is really nice. But I wonder if that's the one that you put a bit of development into.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the one. It's all the things you just said, but if they added a little bit of vibes to that outer wing, I think that would be a really great home for W in the long run as well, I think.
And I'm really struggling at W games without a big screen. Like, the older I get, the
Totally.
more I'm like, who is that? Like, I cannot see things. And like, what are you looking at?
There's actually snow-capped mountains just there.
Yeah.
Like, you can see mountains with snow on top of it, Marnie.
That's cool.
I've never seen that before.
He just looked over at like the shock of a look.
Yeah, he looks
like
genuinely like...
That's like Mount Everest over there.
Take a photo. We'll take a photo, Paddy. Don't worry.
I've never seen that before.
But I'm
so sorry.
I'm tipping Suns to continue on the glorious undefeated run, and do that Chloe Malloy goal. Legit, transcendent of whatever league you're talking about. That's the goal of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, she kicks it... I'm not going to... Paddy, can you describe the goal?
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I actually reckon it was more accidental than genuine.
No.
I think she had a
That's
ping across
fine.
the face of goal. Like, was backing into the pocket, sort of swung a boot at it, got it to roll through. It was an incredible goal.
Well, it was a shot. It was a chance,
Yeah.
but it was a very low chance.
Very
So
low
someone's
chance.
going, I'll have a crack. But that allows it because it's not like
Yes.
she was kicking the wrong way and the wind blew it backwards. It was like kind of deliberate.
Yeah, I think so. I think it like Chloe Malloy is... Like, she's such a box office player. Like, I would dead set buy a ticket to watch a game of footy just because Chloe Malloy's playing in it. And that's been the way since the very start.
And I just realised this is her game. She came from Collingwood, Sydney. That's very fun. She's up to 14 goals for the season. The record is 21.
Wow.
She's going to get it.
gonna
Yeah,
get
easy. GG's.
Yeah.
She gonna get it.
Prayer circles, no injuries for Chloe Malloy, everybody. I'll be also tipping Sydney.
Yeah.
Victoria, Collingwood are good at Vic Park, though, I will say. Like, they turn out. Like, against the Ds, I was a bit worried there, and they got that game against... Oh, I guess that was GWS. Take back everything I said. The next game is later that day. I can't say times because they're all localised.
At
Or just take away 2.
2:35 p.m.
2:35. Carlton versus Suns. 1% of people are tipping the Sunnies.
Yeah, this is my game that I'm torn because I like to be a one-eyed Suns supporter, but I'm really a Carlton W fan deep down.
Yeah, you got to go Carlton.
Yeah, I'm tipping Carlton.
I saw on our Reddit there's a flair now. You can say official Carlton AFLW podcast.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic.
Anyone tipping not tipping Carlton here? No. By the way, Tom got 8 and I got 7 last week. Dominated.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
The only one I got wrong was your team, Marnie.
Yes, they were never beating Geelong.
Yeah, I believed.
Geelong should never have lost their opening 3 games, and Essendon were very lucky to win their opening.
Did you get to that game? It was windy as it looked like.
No, I was dead. I cannot tell you how
Oh,
much
yeah.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday. I genuinely could not get off the couch, but I did watch it.
It was windy. At Corroboree Group Manuka Oval, so going to Canberra for Doggies and GWS. 60. What is the tipping here?
You missed
64.
Port Melbourne.
Yeah, you skipped your own team, bro.
Oh, so legitimately, I just tipped D's and moved on. Because we're awesome. I love watching. They bring me, and I'm hearing it from so many Melbourne fans, if I can just rant on for a second. They are bringing us so much joy to watch. Across every line, we have just absolute stars. And to lose a gun like Purcell a few weeks ago and then have Tyler Hanks come in and be just transcendently good in the midfield. Everyone looks so good. They're so... For a fan base like Melbourne, to see a team who are just level-headed, consistent, and do the right thing is just
Unheard of.
so nice. And if it wasn't at Casey, it'd be perfect. We only play them in the finals.
Really?
If we play them in... Yeah.
I really want to see that. Damn.
I love that. I'm really excited for that because I can sit happily because I think North are kilometres ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
So I can just sit in denial until we have to play them. But D's against Port, I'm tipping the Demons.
Yeah.
You can not tip them. I'm not afraid of you.
No. I just like it at Alberton, you know.
And then Giants and Western Bulldogs. Everyone. It's strange. 64% of people tipping Giants for this, which makes no sense to me because Dogs haven't been great, but Giants are nowhere near the Dogs, I would think. What do you think, Marns?
Yeah, I'm tipping Dogs.
Yeah, fair enough.
Me too.
And how's this? Windy Hill, at the moment, the tipping is exactly at 50-50, which kind of feels right. Bombers and St Kilda. Who do you go, Marns? Tell me about this.
Oh, and I forgot to mention Brooke Walker doing her ACL against Geelong. That sucks.
Yeah.
And Steph Kane's got a bit of a niggle and since she went off with an injury, which I did not enjoy watching. I think if Essendon lose some of their leaders, they are going to have a rough end of the season. But I'll back them against Saners, although I quite like Saners.
I'm tipping Dons.
Yeah, calm the Dons. Burn me again.
Burn. I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah.
And then Icon Park game on Sunday. Richmond Geelong. Oh, brutal. Gonna be brutal. Why is this game being played at Icon Park? I know that Icon is very slowly becoming the one that you play a lot of games at, but Punt Road, I guess it's the stadium knockdown, hey?
Yeah. Richmond's playing all its home games this year, or most of them at Icon Park, I think.
Okay, this is going to be brutal.
Go Catters.
Go Geelong.
Cats. Kinetic Stadium. Anyone want to tell me where that is?
That's the Frankston one, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
The Breeze.
Oh, is this the Dingley down the way, down there?
See, if this was in Melbourne, I would love to go to this game, but 3 p.m. when there's like a bunch of other games on, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, true. You miss all the other games to get down there.
Yeah.
I know Crows aren't in the top 4, but it feels like a top 4 tussle.
Crows are 2-2.
Yeah. And that Brisbane game being one of them, I feel weights. That's like a really good loss, like a 3-point loss against Brisbane, even though you're at home. Like, yeah, Crows are going to come over and desperately want to win this, and you think you'll find out a lot about Hawthorn in this game, won't you?
Yeah, and Hawks have been quite good at stopping other teams, but they haven't been good at putting goals on the board this year. All of their wins have been quite low scoring. Interesting to see what happens here.
Will it be windy down there?
Yes, always.
Yeah. All the scores at this ground all year have been like, they're the ones that have been like...
The outlier?
Yeah, they've been the tiny score ones, I believe. Am I right in saying that? I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that.
All the high.
Yeah, so who knows? This could go either way, man.
If you aren't watching every W game, I'm tipping Crows by that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm tipping Hawthorn.
Good. I love that. I think that it's a great shout. If you aren't watching every W game or you're just in and out, this game Sunday night at 7 p.m?
At 3?
3 in the afternoon. I said at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon when there will be no other footy on. I think this has been well scheduled. North versus Brisbane. Go on, Marnie. Tell me.
Well scheduled. It is on at the exact same time as Brisbane North Melbourne, the grand final rematch. They haven't even staggered it by 10 bloody minutes so that the quarters are different.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. I mean. That's the one I want to watch.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck the Hawks game.
because it's on at the exact same time as Hawthorn Adelaide.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
My mistake, but yes.
But scheduled well against the men's at least.
Sorry. Keep going.
No.
But yeah, North Brisbane is a one you must watch if you can watch it.
Yeah.
Brisbane are building into form. North are unbeatable, but they're travelling. I'm very excited for this game. How are we feeling about that, Marns? What are we thinking about this one?
I want to be watching Hawthorn Adelaide.
It's true.
Just as much as I want to watch Brisbane North. It annoys me that they're both on at 3:05 p.m.
Yeah, it should
start.
be staggered at least by 20 minutes. You're right. Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I'm very excited. North will be favourites. What happened? Oh, yeah, the last grand final rematch they played last year was coming off Brisbane as the premiers, and North just annihilated them.
Yeah.
That was so exciting to watch. Yeah, Northies.
It's an interesting position for Brisbane, right? Because we're heading into round 5, and if they lose this one, they're going to be 2-3.
Yeah.
Ooh, spicy.
And they're sitting ninth. Yeah, they're sitting ninth right now. So Brisbane, who are still I'm so afraid of them.
Yeah.
They could be 2-3, and I don't know their run from here, but that's a rough way to start the year.
So the Kangas haven't lost a game in over 630 days.
Wow.
They're currently
What a
16
powerhouse.
on the trot, and because of the shorter seasons, it's 600 something days.
Everyone was mad at that ad. You know, they put out that ad where it's like, oh, if you're a North fan, who should you barrack for in the finals? And everyone was like, your fucking W team that's never lost a game.
Just what you said before, Marnie, the way that's like, someone should build that into one of those cool hype TikToks. You know what I mean? Where it's like, where like that music, boom, 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 and we're just talking, and then you just say, North haven't lost in 605 days. Boom, 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 and then it's Carney. Boom, 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 boom. You know those kind of ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah. That would be a sick TikTok. I'm tipping North.
North.
Cool.
And then Sunday's a good watch because you've also got a
Derby.
Reese Derby or Derby between Freo and West Coast. 64% of people are tipping Freo, which I think is not right.
I
Yeah,
think that's
fuck
also
that.
not right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eagles.
Let's go the Eagles.
We're the Eagles, we're flying high.
Yeah.
And
Doc
that's
has
all
had
the
Doc has had a really good game against Swans, and then they just got overrun in the fourth. But they looked good for, like, that's the best I've seen them this year against Sydney. Like, they looked all right last week, but even if West Coast are behind at 3/4 time, they just know how to win games.
Well
They're
said.
so
This is
composed.
Sunday is apart from the Richmond Geelong one, sorry, Paddy, it's a wonderful day of games, and we'll be welcoming us back into Melbourne to watch these. I'm very excited. That's really nice. This is one of my favourite Wednesdays ever. I think we had so much to cover. There was a nice mix. There's really good stories in the W going on. The football's just moving along beautifully. Can you imagine sitting here saying the Suns are the only team from this podcast playing finals? When you consider that one of us goes for Melbourne and one of us goes for Essendon and one of us goes for Richmond, it makes more sense. We should just be thankful that one of the teams is in here. But it's been a great episode. Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Marnie, great work as always.
Thank you.
King Stingray, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you, mate.
We'll be back next week. Enjoy the footy this weekend. Bit of W on Sunday, bit of W on Saturday, 2 finals on Friday, Saturday. Help me. And it's time to have a great weekend and bounce that sting.
13! This is a Grouse House podcast.